Hi everyone and welcome. Today I want to speak to you about diets, and not specifically which types of diets are good and which types of diets are bad, but I just want to give you more of an understanding and an insight to what a diet actually is, and hopefully with that information you'll be able to make a more educated decision on which types of diets you follow and maybe which ones you choose not to follow. So just keep in mind the information that I give to you today is for educational purposes only, and you should always speak with your GP or other healthcare professional for advice that's right for you and that is individualized for you. So let's dive in. So what actually is a diet? So a diet is basically just any types of food or food groups or a style of food that any animal, person or community habitually or generally tends to eat. So the other term that I really want you to understand for this video is macronutrients, and I'm sure you've heard that term many times before. It basically means carbohydrates, proteins and fats. So macro meaning large, or in this case a large amount, and nutrients is the nutrients that your body needs to sustain healthy life. So what this means is that macronutrients, we need a large amount of these specific nutrients. We also have micronutrients, micro meaning small or small amounts, or in some cases it means trace amounts, which is a very, very small amount. These micronutrients are generally inside macronutrients. So when you eat a carbohydrate, say you eat an apple, the apple tends to come with micronutrients like vitamins and minerals and things. And these are ultimately the things that you want to eat that are going to sustain your body to being healthy. So as we start to break down the different types of diets, most typical diets that you see online in a book or anything like that are generally a restrictive diet. So what the restrictive diet means is that there is a reduction or there is some alteration to the macronutrients. So you've probably seen some calculators might have 50% carbohydrates, 25% protein, 25% fat. So when you go on a restrictive diet, those percentages are usually altered, or it might just eliminate an entire food or food group. So you might go on a low carb diet, which greatly reduces the amount of carbohydrates that you have. Some people go crazy and go on no carbohydrate diets. You might have a low fat diet or a high protein diet. So that's basically what a restrictive diet means, is you're restricting some aspect or some portion of the ratios. The other type of diet that's quite common and you might see a lot is a fad diet. So this is a trendy or fashionable or popular diet that's usually promoted or led by an influencer or a celebrity. These type of diets tend to promote rapid weight loss, fat melting off, increased metabolism, increased energy, all of these fantastic things that everybody is looking for. Most of these types of diets just generally seem too good to be true. So usually all you need to do is take a shake, take a pill, take a gummy, take something, and all these magical things are going to happen that you have been looking for. So the fad diet will tend to target whatever is kind of in trend at the moment. So at the moment, the big thing is that people want the big booty, they want the nice juicy butt, the small waist. So they're going to sell products and diets and things that are going to advertise or sell what people are currently looking for. So not specifically a diet, but there's also types of foods that can be promoted quite heavily, things like superfoods, which you hear a lot about. So some superfoods that are in trend at the moment is apple cider vinegar, chia seeds and kale have also had their time. There was a massive phase where everyone was into kale and buying kale because it had all these antioxidant powers and it had all these other nutrients and vitamins and minerals. And as much as these foods do actually have all of these essential vitamins and minerals and nutrients and things, and they usually come in a large amount when compared to other food, those foods solely alone are not going to give you any extra energy or any extra weight loss advantages without the combination of a balanced diet and everything else that you need in the diet. So some of the keywords you might hear on these products are things like melting fat, rapid weight loss, increased metabolism, which is a big one, which is what everybody wants, promoting better sleep, increased immunity, boosting brain power, building muscle. Some products even promote things like pain reduction, reduce back pain, reduce inflammation, increase your gut health, reduce your digestive inflammation or any other inflammation in your body. These are other things that these products put on there. And while some of them may actually do these things, one single food or one single product alone is not going to give you those massive benefits that are on there. So taking a multivitamin without a deficiency isn't really going to give you any extra benefits that you're really going to notice. So someone who is iron deficient and takes a iron supplement, they're probably going to notice some effects. They're going to get a little bit more energy and things back, especially if they have anemia or have other problems absorbing iron naturally from food sources. These may help certain people, but if you're eating pretty well and having a good diet and you're just taking a multivitamin supplement, in most cases you're probably not really going to notice the difference. Now, if you've gone to the doctor and they have advised you to take a multivitamin or any other vitamin and mineral or supplement, that is different. Always go with what your GP says. I would never actually recommend you to self-diagnose your own deficiency without actually getting a blood test or seeing some sort of professional. Because in some cases, especially if it's a fat-soluble vitamin, we can actually store these for many years. So someone, for example, who is a vegan, the first thing that people think that these people need to go and start supplementing is B12, because B12 is only available in animal products. Our bodies can store B12 anywhere up until 3 to 5 years. So it may be quite a few years before a vegan needs to actually go and take a B12 supplement. It also depends on how much was in their stores before they just decided to go vegan as well. So always go and see your GP and get a blood test so you have actual results before you start taking all these multivitamins and supplements. Sometimes they can actually do you more harm than they can do you good. So there was an Australian study done between 2011 and 2012, and the results showed that at that current time, 2.3 million Australians aged 15 years or over reported that they were on some sort of diet for either weight loss or for other health benefits. So 55% of Australians aged between 15 and 30 reported that they were on some sort of weight loss diet or low-calorie diet. And 21% of this survey reported that they were on a high-protein diet. So this was quite a few years ago. These are the latest stats that's available on the ABS at the moment. You can probably assume that these diet percentages are now currently higher, given that our obesity rates and overweight rates are higher than what they were 7 or 8 years ago. There also may be some alterations too to the figures, because 7-8 years ago, high protein diets were really popular, and they're not so much these days. So 21% of Australians who are on a high protein diet, you probably find, if we took data from that was more recent, we may actually have 21% of people on a high fat diet or a keto type diet. But even the keto diet is starting to become less popular than what it was 6 months ago. So just to give you a bit of an example of how many different types of diets are available, there are keto diets, there are intermittent fasting diets, there is the alkaline diet, there is the Atkins diet, paleo, Dukan, if it fits your macros, raw food diets, juicing diets, shake diets. Like, the list goes on. There is that many different types of diets. I even seen one the other day that was called a snake diet, where you fast for 3 days and then you have a snake juice, which is basically just electrolytes and water. So it's pretty much just a starvation diet, which is another type of diet. There are actually diets out there that is pretty much a starvation diet. So let's discuss how these diets actually work, because I can guarantee you that most of these diets within the first 1 to 12 weeks will probably give you some sort of positive effect. You may even get weight loss from all of these diets or some of these diets. So especially with a restrictive diet where you're either cutting out macronutrients or you're cutting out calories, in most instances you're actually reducing your calories, and a lot of people end up in a calorie deficit, which means that they're eating less calories than what they're actually burning. And this reduction in calories is what people tend to aim for, because this creates weight loss. Now, the problem with this is the body cannot sustain this for a long time. So usually most results happen between the first week to 12 weeks and you will get weight loss. But then after that, you kind of hit a bit of a plateau, things start to slow down, and sometimes things even start to go backwards, and you'll probably notice some of the weight is starting to go back on. Now, when someone is on a diet, they're very conscious about what they eat. They may choose to not eat takeaway food anymore. They may cut out sugar. They may cut out soft drink, alcohol, deep fried foods, whatever it is. When you're on a diet, you kind of go all in and do everything. So sometimes it's actually difficult to see if the diet that you are following is actually the cause or the reason for the weight loss. Because for some people, just stopping soft drink, if someone has 2 cans of soft drink per day and you cut out the soft drink, in 2 weeks, you will probably have weight loss. Just by simply reducing your calories and taking out some of the bad foods, you are going to get health effects. You are going to get positive results. You might see yourself being a little bit more energetic, or your sleep might be a little bit better, or you just might start to feel a little better, maybe a little bit less bloating. But it comes down to, was it actually the diet that you're eating, or is it the whole combination of everything that you're doing? The other problem with restrictive diets is when you restrict the foods that you are supposed to be eating and you restrict your calorie intake, we have a certain calorie intake that we need to consume for our bodies, because that's how much nutrients we need. There's vitamins and minerals, your B vitamins and vitamin C and all those types of things. They come from your food. So if you don't eat enough, or you eat a low calorie diet, then you're gonna get a low intake of these vitamins and minerals, and that becomes a problem. Now, I've heard many stories where people want a diet to start with. You know, they want to get on track, they want some guidance, and they want something to follow, because you kind of just go all over the place and there's no routine or there's no structure to your eating. And I get that. But if you're following the wrong one, it's going to lead you down the wrong path. It is not possible to crash diet for a month, or do a 30-day cleanse or a 30-day detox, or have a juice diet for 30 days, create your weight loss, and then just resume life as it was before. It doesn't work like that. Something I hear all the time is that my diet was going really well and I had weight loss and everything was great, and then I went out, or I had a wedding, or I had a party or something, and fell off because the weekend came and they had a wedding and they ate a lot of food and drank a lot of alcohol, and you know, they get a little bit sidetracked, weight starts to go back on, and what they'll think is that everything was going well when they were on the diet and they just need to get back on the diet. So 7 in 10 Australian men are either overweight or obese. And for females, or for women, it is 1 in 2, and for children is 1 in 4 are overweight or obese. Obesity has increased by over 300% in the last 50 years, and the numbers are still climbing every year. So with all of these diets and pills and things that we have on the market, why is our overweight and our obesity rates increasing every year? So most of these diets fix one problem, but they're also creating another problem. There is no one food or meal or food group that's going to create weight loss. Just like there's no one single food or one meal that's going to create weight gain. It's a combination of all foods consumed together that either creates weight loss or weight gain, and it's generally over a period of time. So one term that I want you to understand is homeostasis. So this is the body's way of always checking back into balance. So everything that you do, your body wants to be in balance. So when you go into a room that's very hot or very cold, your body temperature remains pretty much where it should be, because your body will find a way to adjust things. So it's always in balance. This happens with your energy levels. So if you consume a low calorie diet or don't eat very much food, you're not going to have very much energy output. You can't be a very energetic person if you're not eating very many calories. So most people need to consume at least 1800 calories a day to do all their daily functions. You need to keep in mind that breathing, beating your heart, metabolism also includes all of these things. So metabolism is just not how quickly food can get from your mouth through your digestive system. It is the combination of all chemical processes that happen in your body. So things like replenishing hair, replenishing skin cells, if you cut yourself, if you're injured, if you're sick, all of these things are all part of your metabolism. It's all processes that happen inside the body. So you do need to keep that in mind as well. Even when you're sleeping, you are still burning calories because you still need to beat your heart and you still need to breathe, and your brain still needs to do all the things that it's doing while you're asleep as well. So if you eat this low calorie diet and you have low calories, your body's going to pull you back into check, and you're going to be quite tired and lethargic, and you're not going to have much energy. You're not going to be a very outgoing, energetic person if you're not eating very much food. You just simply don't have the calories and the energy to output. Now, if you're eating excessive amounts of calories and you're not actually using the energy that you're obtaining in through your diet, then yeah, you are going to store it, because you want this nice balance of energy coming in and energy going out. When you can find that nice happy medium and you eat the right amount of foods and you eat good nutritious foods, you are an energetic person. You do sleep very well and your brain works really well, because the body has got this nice happy medium balance and everything is working really, really well. Now, most diets don't come without complications or problems later on. So for example, the keto diet, yes, it pretty much does induce weight loss, but it's high in fat. It's a high fat diet. You reduce your carbohydrate intake, which is the first problem, because a lot of your folate, magnesium, potassium and stuff comes from grains and whole grains and things that you eat. You're obviously restricting a lot of fruits and vegetables, and you've got bucket loads of vitamins and minerals in fruits and vegetables. Now, when you follow these diets as well, they're not risk-free. There's usually a lot of problems and complications that can happen long-term when you follow these diets. So for example, the keto diet is very low in carbohydrate and very high in fats. So your first problem is the keto diet says it's okay to eat sausages and it's okay to eat butter and bacon. And these types of foods tend to come with very high amounts of saturated fat and bad cholesterol. So excessively eating high cholesterol and high saturated fats, as you guessed it, that's going to be a really big problem for anyone who's already got heart complications. It could potentially even increase your blood pressure and other things like that. So that's one problem that's already happening. And on the other end, low carbohydrates means low fruit and vegetables, low whole grains, and these are the foods that you actually need to consume to lower your blood pressure and lower your cholesterol level. And fruits and vegetables are completely abundant in, all your water soluble vitamins and vitamin C and B vitamins, magnesium, like the list just goes on. Your whole grains have got potassium and folate and everything else that you need to keep your heart healthy. And most people are just solely focused on weight loss, and they tend to go for a diet that is just specific in weight loss. But I can tell you now, if you eat healthy and you obtain all your vitamins and minerals and everything that you should be getting from your diet, weight loss happens. So a lot of studies that are done on these type of diets show results only between that 1 to 12 week mark. Some of them may show results up until 6 months, but by the 12-month mark, they usually don't have any different results than what a balanced diet would have. The difference is when you follow a balanced, healthy diet, your health profile is much better, and after the 12-month mark, the balanced diet usually does really, really well, and the restrictive diet tends to kind of hang around at that area, or most people tend to go backwards with their weight and health results. Okay, so you've sat through all of this and you're still with me, and I'm sure the one question that you have on your mind right now is, so which diets do you follow? I want to share with you 3 diets. Well, they're not really diets, they're more of guidelines. They're going to give you some guidance of which foods you should be choosing and which foods you should be avoiding. And the key here is variety, because every food, every different type of fruit and vegetable and nut and seed is going to give you a different combination or a different amount of nutrients. So the larger you increase your variety, or the bigger the range of variety that you eat, the more likely you are going to cover all of the vitamins and minerals that you do need to get in your diet. Okay, so the first diet I want to share with you is the Mediterranean diet. Now, the Mediterranean diet was inspired by the eating habits of Greece and Italy from 1960s. The foundation of this diet is fruits, vegetables, herbs, nuts, beans, and whole grain. It only consumes moderate amounts of eggs, dairy, poultry, and seafood. So with this diet as well, red meat is only eaten occasionally. This diet also allows you to have occasional amounts of red wine and also allows you to treat yourself on a special occasion. The next diet, or the next type of guidelines that I want to talk about, was made by the Australian government, and it's called the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating. This healthy eating guide has 5 guidelines, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to cover the first 3. The first guideline is to achieve and maintain a healthy weight and also be physically active on most days, and to choose amounts of nutritious food and drink to meet your daily energy needs. The second guideline is to enjoy a wide variety of foods from the 5 food groups. So the 5 food groups include fruit, vegetables, protein, whole grains, and low-fat dairy. The third guideline is to limit foods that contain saturated fats, added salt, added sugar, and to also limit your alcohol intake. And there's one last type of diet that I want to cover, which is called the DASH diet. This is a US-based diet that was created by the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institution. So this diet is very similar to the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating diet. Some of the key differences is the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating recommends that you eat 2 serves of fruit, whereas the DASH diet is 5 serves of fruit, and grains in the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating is 5 serves of grains per day, which this DASH diet is 7. And the purpose of this diet, it was made to reduce and maintain hypertension. So increasing your fruits and increasing your whole grains are 2 key facts to help reduce high blood pressure or hypertension. The DASH diet also recommends that you consume no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day, whereas the normal intake for an average adult would be 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day. Now, when you look at these diets side by side, you can see that 2 of them have more of a pie chart type of figure, and the one in the middle has more of a pyramid. But if you look at the ratios or the portions or the types of foods that are in them, you can see that most of them are quite similar. So all of these diets contain whole grains, fruits, and vegetables that consume around 2/3 of the diet. They also include lean meats, low-fat dairy, and they also give you the opportunity to have fats and sweets occasionally, and they also do include good fats and good healthy oils as well. So by following these guidelines, you will be receiving all your vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that you need in the human diet, and this will help you get to whatever your goal is, whether you want to gain muscle or you want to just be healthy or you want to lose weight. Eating what your body needs and starting to feel good is the first key. People who feel good and people who have energy are going to be more likely to be physically active, whether it's exercise, sport, or going to the gym, or whatever activities that you like to do. And when you're more energetic and you're more active, you tend to burn more calories. So my take-home message for you is don't fall for quick fixed diets. They are not going to work, and even if they do work, the results are going to be short term and you're going to be back to where you started, if not worse, before you know it. Eat a balanced range of healthy, nutritious food from the 5 food groups, which are whole grains, fruits, vegetables, low-fat dairy, and also good sources of good quality protein. Change your mindset. Start eating to be healthy and to prevent disease, and not eat and choose foods just for the purpose of being skinny. And follow government guidelines and scientifically proven diets and health advice. Well, that's all I have for you today, and if you're still with me here at the very end, thank you for sticking through with me. I hope all of this information helps you to make better decisions on the foods that you choose for yourself and for your family. One of the next videos that I'm working on is all about calories. I'd like to explain to you exactly what calories are and how they work inside your body, and the different ways that you can actually calculate and work out what your macronutrients are or your calories are. And I want to show you why that is good and sometimes can be bad as well. So stay tuned, check back in a couple of weeks and look out for the calories video. So if you liked this video and you want to see more, give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and also make sure your notification bell is on so you will be notified when the new videos are up. Thank you, take care, and happy eating, and I'll see you in the next video.